I sent these 9 cards to PSA on August 5th, 2023. I didn't get them back until January of 2024. That's over 4.5 months. And a lot has changed within the NBA's landscape since then. This was actually sent in as sort of like a dual submission. I sent in 2 separate orders. The first one, maybe I can kind of go through at some point down the line, but that one came back actually a little over a month and a half ago. So it was a much faster turnaround for that batch. But as far as the cards you're seeing in this video and then in part 2 of this series, yeah, they took much longer than the estimated turnaround time originally had said. I've gotten 6 PSA magazines in the time that I had sent in my card and in the time that it took to get the cards back. Totally get it, they're still backlogged, but still, I think just the overall idea of maybe not setting the bar so impossibly high for yourselves might be worth considering. I submitted in early August thinking that like maybe I'd get them back within the first couple of weeks, the first month of the NBA season, and it took until the new year. So as far as obstacles, just to name one, just kind of based off of the first player here that we're seeing, Robert Williams III. So an example of cool card, cool player, but when I had purchased this card and sent it in for grading, he was still a Boston Celtic. So it actually, a lot has changed in that 4 to 5 month span that I took for me to like grade this card. So unfortunate circumstance, not only for me as a Celtics fan, seeing him get traded to Portland, then on top of it, he also got injured and he's out for the season again. So that's unfortunate, but hey, I mean, if he ever does come back, at least I have like a pretty nice looking card, nice autograph. I mean, for his standard, it is pretty much like a chicken scratch, but honestly, man, I love that for Rob. Time Lord, wish you well. Okay, so this OG Anunoby card, this is an example of, you know, I jumped on the hype train.
OG with a look, got it! OG Anunoby at the buzzer!
I actually did think that over the offseason he was going to land on a new team, so I thought there was going to be a lot more optimism with him heading into this NBA season. But really it took a longer time for things to sort of end with him and the Toronto Raptors, so now he is a New York Knick. But I mean, really, this card is not... You know, this card is not worth the most amount of money right now as far as like what my own standards are, but it is a cool looking card, and an auto 10 is nice, and the fact that it's a mint 9. Peyton Watson. So people in the trading card space might consider this like junk slab type, you know, card quality stuff. So near mint 8. Auto 9. I mean, it's really just in a protected slab. That's the value of this card now. It's not so much like the condition. Even still, I think Peyton Watson as a prospect with the Denver Nuggets, there's some optimism around him as a player. So yeah, that was my observation there. Jaden Hardy, similar insights as the previous Peyton Watson card, but really I like, again, the potential that he as a prospect has behind, in this case, Luka Doncic with the Dallas Mavericks. I think that there's some excitement as far as like the role that he could potentially have with the Dallas Mavericks, specifically moving forward the next couple of years. This is the coolest Jaden Hardy card that was sent in. I actually have an interesting story behind this card and how I kind of came to purchasing it. So I went to this is actually my first card show I'd ever been to. With a friend of mine, actually, a local card show. It was like pretty small. It was at like probably some like a Marriott hotels like conference room. What kind of led me to this card was I'd actually had spent like probably 75% of what I showed up with in cash on some like vintage Michael Jordan cards, which I still do have. Came across this card, and you know, the guy that was selling it was actually apparently a like local card shop owner. So he had said that he got this in like a break, and he, you know, was pretty firm with the price that he had put on it, which I'm pretty sure was like right around the 40 mark. I actually only had $35 cash. In my perspective, I'd already spent like most of my budget anyway. His outlook was he was pretty set on 40. I, you know, kind of was clear about like, hey, I'm not even trying to like necessarily bargain you down, but like this is the max cash that I got. I got this card for $35 now that I think about it. 35, and then to grade it was, call it an additional 20. And so now I have this mint 9 auto 10 heir apparent, really cool Court Kings Jaden Hardy rookie card. Talk about a card that has a, you know, pretty mediocre, underwhelming story. I, you know, love Marcus Smart. I'm a Celtics fan. He is, you know, at one point was the longest tenured Celtic. Drafted in 2014. You know, I definitely bought it at more of a premium raw. It was also coming from China, I believe. And actually, too, when the package came in, the package was bent. So my concern was this card was damaged. So honestly, I was actually expecting the grade for this card to come back worse than an 8/8. But the fact that it's an 8/8, it's in a protected slab again. For me, it's going to go in the personal collection. But what's unfortunate and kind of a letdown about this card is that Marcus Smart was traded, you know, pretty shortly after, like while this card was probably in research. Somewhere along the 4.5 month turnaround time. But yeah, this is you know, honestly, no excuses. I don't know why I bought this card, other than like I love Al Horford, and again, there was a flurry of cards that I purchased, you know, some through auction, some through buy now, while Boston was making their title run last year. And Al Horford for me is like lock Hall of Famer, and people. A lot of people that I talk to about Al Horford in basketball, I think they might like not necessarily realize that the Hall of Fame is basketball Hall of Fame. Al Horford is a college champion, college basketball champion, NCAA champion. So that alone like carries its own weight as far as like, you know, who should be in the basketball Hall of Fame. But I also just think the body of work he's put in on the NBA's level, like for the last probably 15, 16 years. Guy's like pushing 40 years old. Yeah, this card, unique. Okay, this card was an L. Absolute L. I mean, I look at where the autograph is. It's on the middle. It's like he signed his torso. Not even anywhere close to where he was supposed to sign it. So I guess like this, I really wanted to see what this kind of unique card, like what, you know, PSA would grade it in the year of our Lord 2024. You know, what information I could gather as far as like PSA's grading standards from this type of card, this modern rated rookie Josh Palmer autograph card. So I also have had this card, I think the longest out of every card in this current batch. And yeah, finally we have the absolute gem of this video, the perfect 10 of 10. 10 of 10, I guess it doesn't make sense. Gem Mint 10 and Auto 10. So the perfect 10, but also it's a gold Crown Royale Grant Williams rookie card, number to 10. So it's actually number 3 to 10. So that's pretty appropriate with Grant Williams being notorious 3-and-D role player. But this card, I bought this card once again during that run with the Celtics in the playoffs last year, before they, you know, choked away to the Heat. But they, you know, almost had it with that one Derek White moment.
The Celtics are going to win. There's a game 7 back in Boston.
Ruling on the floor is good basket. The play's under review.
White.
I got this card when Grant Williams was still, in fact, a Boston Celtic, making an impact in the NBA playoffs. And now I'm getting this card back. It is the only card in this video that's a 10 and 10. And he doesn't play for the Boston Celtics. He is a backup, you know, he's a backup player for the Dallas Mavericks after signing a pretty significant contract over this past offseason, and really branching off as far as like being more of like a celebrity, I guess, in the NBA's mainstream. So really sad to see that he is honestly no longer a Celtic and he's not a part of the success that they're seeing so far. But at least I do have this card that is, I mean, again, it's very unique, and I'm glad that it's now protected. I didn't think it'd be a perfect 10. This thing was actually sitting in a mailbox of mine for probably like a few days because I didn't get a chance to go down and grab it. That's how upset I was at Grant after a particularly bad game in the playoffs. But yeah, overall, I am happy that this was the win of this video. So keep in mind, if you want to, you know, see the rest of the cards that came from this PSA submission, make sure you subscribe so you can get a notification when that video comes out. There were some really cool cards that came from the second box here, and I'm excited to get into it with the channel here. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time.